Welcome to the Sunset Archon channel, where we aspire to gain from night to first light. And today, we are going to be running more Switch 2 experiments. And I'm happy to announce, my headsets finally came in the mail. It's so good to have this model of headset back, nestled perfectly on my ear, rather than around it. For whatever reason, headsets that go around the ear just hurt that outer edge of the cartilage. And then it's just painful even to take them off. Those are not pleasant, but these have a nice, soft cushioning around them, which is why I loved the ones that I had so much for the last few years. So it's good to have this feeling back. Anyway, today we are going to be running some more Switch 2 experiments. In the first stream, we tried the original Switch 1 edition on the Switch 2. It could not be played in version 1.0.0. You have to update to 1.8 on the Switch 2 to play it. And yeah, then we played the Switch 2 edition with the data with the data that we downloaded from the Switch 1 version already on there. Now, because we already had that, thankfully, we didn't need to do the download for the 1.8 part. However, for whatever reason, we still had to download the upgrade pack. The upgrade pack for the Nintendo Switch 2 optimizations, which, in all honesty, should be on the Switch 2 cartridge. But that's neither here nor there. It actually brings up a good question that we will be answering later on. But now, we are going to try the next experiment. Since we have gone through the trouble of adding that upgrade pack onto the Switch 2, we are going to put the Switch 1 cartridge back in. Because if I understand this correctly, we both are still in the same version, thankfully. Version 1.8. So, we are going to put in the Nintendo Switch version of Breath of the Wild into the Switch 2, seeing if it recognizes that and switches back to that version, or if we're stuck playing the Nintendo Switch 2 edition till the end of time. And then, I'm going to start it up, make sure it starts properly. Then going to close it, switch back to the Switch 2 edition, and see if we can do the exact same thing. This is to establish proof that at least for mainline titles actually developed by Nintendo, it would be possible to interchange the Switch edition and the Switch 2 edition without losing any save file data. Alright, let's start the experiment. Alright, got Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, inputting it now. Okay, so I have put in Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for Switch 1, still has the icon for the Nintendo Switch 2 edition, still has the title for Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Software still says Nintendo Switch 2 edition, Nintendo Switch 2 software. So, the upgrade pack is still actually downloaded onto the Switch 2. However, we don't have the Switch 2 edition game card in there. We have the Switch 1 edition. Alright. So next, we start it up, see what we get. To use the upgrade pack, you'll need to have access to the associated game card. Acceptable. Now, the beautiful thing about this that I'll give them credit for, you have the cancel option, but you also have the start software option, which means you can start it without using the upgrade pack. Alright, looks like there's a new update for Breath of the Wild already. We're just going to ignore that. Software will now start without the upgrade pack. Magnificent. Okay. So, you may have to go through a few extra prompts, as you can see, but you are still able to switch between the Nintendo Switch 2 edition and the original Switch 1 edition of Breath of the Wild. Now, it is not established that that will be the case for all Nintendo Switch 2 editions and Switch 1 editions, because we only have, if I remember correctly, we only have 3 use cases. Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and while it is not, and a good thing that it's not a Nintendo developed game, so we have another precedent for how other companies will handle it. Rune Factory, Guardians of Azuma. That has a Nintendo Switch edition and a Switch 2 edition. Alright, let's take a look at details. Since the upgrade pack can't be used, the Nintendo Switch software will be opened without any upgrade data. If you want to keep using the software without the upgrade data, you can delete the upgrade pack from this system. If you delete the upgrade pack data, however, please note that other users on this system won't be able to use it anymore. Alright. So, that is actually good. That is actually a good system to have in place. Alright. So, all of these experiments I'm running, I am currently running without any knowledge of what other what other YouTubers are posting in terms of videos. I did see a lot of titles going over what happens if you put a Switch 2 cartridge in a Switch 1 or a Switch OLED. However, I did not watch that content, so I'm going completely blind. However, this brings up an excellent question. Obviously, a normal Switch 2 cartridge isn't going to play in a Switch 1. No way, no how. And that 20.0.0 update and onward is probably just to push recognition of a Switch 2 game card to tell you that you cannot play the Switch 2 game card. However, one of the experiments we're going to be running later is, can you put in a Nintendo Switch 2 edition game card into a Switch 1 and actually have it play? Because Nintendo Switch 2 edition is just the Switch game data packaged with an upgrade pack. So I'm wondering, can the Switch 2, can a regular Nintendo Switch take a Switch 2 game card for a Switch 2 edition game, read the Switch game data on that card, completely ignore the upgrade pack, and start up normally? So these are the 2 compatibility experiments that we'll be running today. And we're already halfway through this experiment. So we're gonna hit OK. Switches over to the normal version. Alright, so we established the compatibility. Alright, for now, let's make our way to Hateno Village. Just make sure everything is working properly. Now then. Been so long since I've been here. Here we go. Yeah, this is the right way. Alright, an 8-fold blade. Let's do a backflip. Alright, everything's running smoothly. I do remember that at some point bloopies start spawning over here. Bingo. Alright. 10 rupees isn't bad. Right. Gotta sneak up on them. Even if you don't open up the fairy fountains, it's always good to come over to them, just so you can collect everything. What the? No idea how that thing climbed up a sheer rock cliff. Alright, hardy radish. There should be one more around here. Okay, where are you? Oh well, one hardy radish is enough. Nehru Road, West Gate. Oh.
Oh. Ah.
And I already got assassins. Good thing I picked up those fairies. You get the rusty broadsword. I'll take that as payment. Alright, now I gotta find the nearest tower. Happy to see the climbing mechanics work the same. And right here. Oh yeah, I should have been going through there. Oh well, I'm sure we'll make it back to that area in due time. As long as it doesn't rain. If it rains, I'm just heading back to Kakariko and going the normal way. Ooh, rush room. Is there a... Alright. Alright, I didn't ruin the eye this time. Alright. There's the tower. So there's something I noticed playing the Switch 2 for the last week. Breath of the Wild is a nice game, but it's not a new game. Neither is Tears of the Kingdom. And it just feels like there is a severe lack of new games. I know Cyberpunk 2077 got added to the Switch 2. Full game on the game card also. However, that's not everyone's cup of tea, and but I'm not harping it on it for that. But with the Switch 2, it started off with Breath of the Wild. Wonderfully open game, open world, where you could fully enjoy the experience of wandering around and exploring everything. And they came across a Hinox. Okay. My point is, this open world is lovely enough for you to get lost in it for days, even months. So, you actually had something to pass the time with, something you had no knowledge of, and the internet didn't have much knowledge of. You could actually take your time playing the game. And by the time you've explored even 2/5 of the game, you will have heard that there is a new game coming out. Which adds to the excitement of the console. With the Switch 2, most of the hype was built into the console. For games, it's just not there. Not even getting into the whole $80 controversy. At least for me, playing through Breath of the Wild again on another console feels more like... It's still a good experience, but it's not the same experience as playing it for the first time. And for those that are playing it the first time, they have 8 years of internet research they can rely on for this game. So the same stress and possibly stakes for some people just isn't there as it was in 2017. So yeah, there's that, and then there's the fact that this game launched with another alleged open world game, Mario Kart World. And it is open world, but it doesn't have it doesn't have that same sense of fulfillment that Breath of the Wild has. I know one's a racing game and one's an RPG, but even by empty open world standards, it feels Mario Kart World's free roam especially feels empty. I mean, the Grand Prix, okay. The Knockout Tour, definitely good. But free roam, for a Mario Kart game, free roam seems like a good concept if you have enough stuff in those extra areas you wouldn't be actually driving on when in the middle of a race. But the thing is, there's barely anything there, and there is so much going on the roads that you feel more inclined to stay on the roads that you would be on if you were doing a normal race. That going off-road exploring just doesn't have the same incentive that I think the developers were going for. There are a few nice pipes that you can go through, but it feels more like you go through them to get back on the track and see what else is there. I know, I just don't feel like there is enough in free roam of Mario Kart World to... I won't say to justify its existence, but more like justify coming back to it on a regular basis. And as a result of that lack of justification, I have finished all of the 50cc races and nearly all of the 100cc races. All that's left is the 150, which I might have done in another 2 weeks. After that... rain. After that, what else is there? Which again brings me to the reason I feel like Breath of the Wild was the best choice to launch with the Switch. Plenty of stuff to do and gives plenty of buffer time for the next major title to come out. If you finish if you finish all existing Grand Prix stuff and all existing Knockout Tour stuff, and you have no one to do multiplayer with, all you have is the void of free roam. So once you have that, you're wondering, what else is there to play? You got Breath of the Wild, a game that's been documented into oblivion. From how to speedrun, from where every shrine is to how to speedrun to Ganon naked. Yeah, those speedruns exist. And then you have Tears of the Kingdom, a game that's also been documented into oblivion. And this one had so many duplication glitches. I'm still not sure if Nintendo managed to get them all. But yeah, there's not much mystery in those games. Sure, you do have Rune Factory, Guardians of Ozma. But farming simulators... I feel like farming simulators have been severely overpopulated during the time of the Switch. But that's not necessarily the Switch's fault. There's my target. And again, Cyberpunk 2077, but I think that's rated M for mature, so that is definitely not going to alleviate the boredom of most. And after that, you have game key cards, which are a whole nother can of worms that we're not gonna get into quite yet. So, yeah. So, we basically have a dead zone, so to speak. At least until Donkey Kong Bonanza comes out. And that's going to be the first Donkey Kong game I have ever played. And I'm honestly shocked that it's taken me this long to play a Donkey Kong game. Oh, that's what I was hearing. So yeah, at first glance, it just feels like a severe lack of games, a void in the Switch 2 library, and it's relying heavily on the existing Nintendo Switch library. Hoping that will hold out until more Switch 2 games are ready. Which I feel like the Nintendo Switch did as well, but as I said, I feel like there was more of a buffer. Yeah, there was definitely more of a buffer in terms of games to allow things like Kirby Star Allies, Octopath Traveler, and Super Mario Odyssey to come out. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the existing Switch 2 library. I really do hope that something gets shadow dropped. Just so there's not just a month-long void until Bonanza. Thank you very much. Now then. It is honestly... The physics of this game are still fascinating, though. Burn things around it, you can actually get the apples to fall down. However, you can't burn the tree itself down to the ground. Okay. It did it again. The cold animation ends up getting saved as a state in the menu. And it just updated now. Oh, this is gonna be a good one. Nice. All right. We got the chew jelly we need, so let's burn down a tower. Because from experience, I know that a fire arrow just isn't enough sometimes. Alright. And apparently that isn't always enough either. So, gonna mix it up a bit. Boom. Come on, burn the other side. Alright. Eventually we're gonna have to cut down a forest to get more wood. Because that's a faster way of climbing these towers. But we should have a clear path now. Let's see if I still remember how to do this. Please work, please work. Oh, I survived. Good, good, good. This is good. This is progress. Okay. Come on. Yes! No, no! Oh, this... Okay, okay. I'm not dead. And I know that can work now. I just need to point myself in the right direction before I jump. And hopefully the fire stays lit. Yep. Fire's still lit. Oh, wait. This is... Now that the fire's lit, there's a smarter way to do this. Come on, come on, yes! And I'm on fire. Wait, no, not yet. Yes. Okay. Ah. Sure, why not? Alright. Pointed in the right direction. Drop. Okay. Good thing I collected some extras. Alright, done with this tower. Oh wow, I think a new Atelier game just got announced. That's something. Not sure if it's for Switch 2, but still good that Atelier is going strong. Wait, didn't Yumiya just get released this year? And we got Lanayru. All right. All we need to do is make it over to that forest. Should be easy, right? And prepare for landing. Rice! We're not getting that first arrow back. Let's just face facts. I'll take that. Alright, got more chew jelly. Alright, let's just use our axe for this. Yeah, we got a fresh axe. No cutting down these trees. My food. Alright. Back to cutting down trees. For years, The Legend of Zelda has had players cutting down grass to get hearts. You technically still do the same thing in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Only here in Hateno, when you cut down grass, you get rice. Alright. Oh, you also sometimes get berries. Alright. I think that's enough food. somehow my only death has been falling. I always seem to survive blunt force trauma. Again! Hope you like fall damage. Hardy truffles. There are better places to get hardy truffles, but okay. Drop the pitchfork! Looks like a bokoblin got it. Thank you. All right. We've made it through the forest. Running low on arrows, though. Alright, I should have it. No, I didn't pick up the torch. Oh well. This is good enough. Here it is. Unique text. There are also people who can trick shot an arrow all the way from the bottom of the hill up into the furnace. Well, that burned out. Good thing I have a spare. Sheep rustlers, fantastic. We'll deal with that later. Come on, club, don't die on me now. You know, I say there's no fun in playing this game when it's already documented into oblivion, but even then there are still special lines within the game that only play if you complete the task before being told to. I was off ever so slightly and it didn't accept it. Alright, time to upgrade our runes. Well, I guess it's time to hunt those guys. Alright, now we're gonna move on to the next part of the experiment. Save the game. Close. We're going to remove the Switch 1 edition. Okay, so it was just playing the Switch edition, but once we closed it, the icon immediately went back to the Switch 2 edition. So it's just a small switch flip in the Switch 2. No pun intended. So now we are going to take out the Switch 1 version and put in the Switch 2 edition to make sure that we can still seamlessly switch between game cards. And so far, the only minor inconvenience we've come across is that long list of prompts we have to go through just to play the Switch 1 edition without deleting the upgrade pack. Good information if you're actually sharing a Switch with someone and you just want to play the Switch 1 version rather than the Switch 2 version. Unlikely, but a possible scenario. So let's get that done. Got the Switch 2 edition, gonna pop it in. Alright, good to go. A for OK. Ignore the download. We've done enough of that. Immediate load. Good to go. Version 1.8.0. Copyright still 2017. Alright, everything seems to be good. And we have now loaded back up the Switch 2 version. And it's gonna take some time to get used to the extra frames again. But you can actually see. Things are running appropriately. Yeah, it just feels so weird seeing all these extra frames. Not that I know what it looks like, but at least it doesn't give off the impression of being AI-generated frames. Alright, let's get another heart container because we are living on the edge every single time a bokoblin hits us.
Oh. Oh. Yeah. Ah. Ah. Mm-hmm. Oh. Oh. Oh.
I'll take 2.
Ah.
That's more than enough. I'm not relying on bomb arrows right now. Ah, the apparatus. And so we finesse it. Oh, came close. There we go. You just gotta finesse it. So the gyroscope controls on the Switch 2 controller are pretty good. You gotta lean that forward a bit if I want to get that chest. Hello and welcome to the stream. We are currently experimenting with Breath of the Wild on Switch 2, both the Switch 1 version and the Switch 2 edition. Right. There. And we've confirmed that compatibility between the two versions on Switch 2 is pretty decent. You can start on the Switch 1 edition, then upgrade to the Switch 2 edition via the eShop, or you can just pop in your Switch 2 edition game card and not have to download all of those updates that you had to download while playing the Switch 1 edition. And then at any time you can interchange between the two. Although you will have to go through a few prompts if you're going back to the Switch 1 edition, because they're letting you know that the Switch 2 upgrade pack will not be in use. And it even gives you the option to delete the upgrade pack if you just want to permanently go back to the Switch 1 edition, but it warns you that if you do that, other users that might use that Switch 2 won't have access to it either. So while it goes through a bunch of prompts that might be annoying after a few playthroughs, it is nice that they actually explain everything to do with that. Alright. So we got another shrine down. We have stocked up on arrows and other ingredients. So now it's about time we get to the primary goal. Making it all the way to Death Mountain. All the way in Elden. Which I assume is right over here. Yep. So we would need to go up. I think this is East Neclida. We would either need to go straight up the front, which is the Great Plateau, then curve right here around a bridge, and then we'll be in Eldon. And the only reason I remember there is a bridge here is because during my first playthrough of this game, I got hunted down relentlessly by a guardian. The only way I was able to avoid it was jumping off a bridge into a river and just laying low. Yeah. This was before I knew how to fight guardians. But all in all, we can either go down this route, or we could try to shimmy along East Neclida and make our way there, because I don't think there are any guardians here, but it is primarily wetlands right around here. So we'll be dealing with a lot of Lizalfos. And then there's the extremely long way around, which will take us through a canyon-like area. Then, close to the Great Korok Forest. A bottomless swamp somewhere. Right to Eldon. But we're just gonna take the straightforward route. Oh, how cute. They think they can jump me. And just like that, the wooden mop is badly damaged. Have at ye. I'll take that. Burn. Uh-oh, time to run. Okay, there it is. I'm not looking out for guardians. Those are still a ways off. I'm just looking for shrines to make sure I'm not missing any. Bones crack on chew jelly, remember. You're next. Alright, we got a hit on a shrine.
Yeah. Yeah. Ha, ha. Oh. Ah. Moo-hoo-hoo.
You want me to break in to Hyrule Castle, which is currently infested by guardians, malice, and all manner of monsters, To find you a cookbook. Yeah, sure, okay. Just not now. Alright. Good time to get some garners. How did that horse come behind me? It's like it just spawned there. Thank you. Oh, that's the one I saw. Of course, that had to be the shrine that I saw. What I wouldn't give for an electric arrow. Shock arrow. Wait. What the? How did he... You just passed me. Why are you back here? NPCs are so much more confusing in the Switch 2 edition. Or maybe it's just a version 1.8 thing. I swear that NPC just passed me as I was being shot at by that Octorok. Then I looked to my left, and there he is again. I'd like to say that this is the safer route, but not entirely. What the? Okay, you saw that, right? The fox was over here, then teleported over there. I'm not going crazy, right? Or was there always a fox there and I just noticed it as soon as that other fox despawned? I got no reason to hunt squirrels. Alright, we've done a good job avoiding the guardians. And this seems like a good spot to cross over. Alright. How did Hestu beat me here? Lovely, I was just doing this. Oh, nuts. Nope. Weird. Normally I'm able to just collect those eggs in one go, but for some reason it takes a while to detect the next item after collecting one. Yeah. Hardy radish. Yeah, not doing that. Not now, anyway. I've only made it halfway. The spiked bokobo. Are you kidding me? It just jumped off the bridge. The prime meat is nowhere to be found. What do you mean? Stood around and watched you get beat up. I just showed up here and you were already there. It might actually be in my best interest to just suck it up and do some climbing. I got lucky and found the climber's bandana again. So it won't be that bad. But yeah, right there is where the guardians start to show up. moving on. Let's see. Spawn point for items after a drop is slightly off, at least for the skeleton enemies. Yeah, even that tower over in the distance isn't safe. Because there are ruined guardians over there, the ones that don't have legs. And trying to climb the tower with them alive is a pain. Trying to kill them is a pain. Because while you're trying to deflect a shot from one of them, another one will have you in their sights and try to shoot you. What am I doing? Right. It's in that trunk hollow. I am in no position to be doing a modest test of strength. That one's gonna take some doing, so we're gonna ignore it for now. Okay, no, it's not floating away. It's actually sliding. Yeah, no, physics are still solid. Alright, now we just gotta cross this river again. No big deal. Ah, nuts. And I think that duck flew away twice. I wasn't so sure about the fox, but now I'm sure. Don't care. All right. No lookouts. Suffer. Yes, fight for me. Yeah! And now my prize. To think there'd be a camp so close to the stable. Oh, a double axe. Simple enough. Oh, right. I needed those barrels, didn't I? Yeah, I'm gonna have to come back to this. I think I broke all the barrels in this location. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. Yeah, I think this is where we begin our Death Mountain trek. Or is it just the Elden Volcano here? Either way, it's quite possible this mountain will lead to our deaths. So it may as well be Death Mountain. Yeah, this is the place. You think I don't see you? Ah, forget this. Now then, onward to the volcano. At least I was able to knock the other one down there. I will take the spear, though. How am I already finding these black Lizalfos? Now die. Oh no. Ah, nuts. If I'm finding dragon bone stuff already, this is bad. Okay. Raw whole bird. Bye. Alright, let's move on. Yeah, the one thing that thing can't do easily is travel upwards. Alright. That's one. Alright, we're in Eldon now. Burn for me. It would be awesome if we could just take them out in an explosion. Yeah, I think I chose the right way, but at the same time, I think I chose the wrong way. Because I should have come across a stable before anything else. But this bandana helps with the climbing, so I'm sure we'll find a stable eventually. Oh, I'm way off. So that's the shrine over there that we're supposed to be at. Alright. Can't go any further than this, or we'll spontaneously combust. So we're going to glide right that way. And this is the path the lava would usually take. All right. Ah, nuts. Well, we're gonna have our first blood moon. If I remember correctly, you can actually force the blood moon to stop if you go into a shrine. But I'm not teleporting back to a shrine just for that. Oh, but I will take what you got. Bring it! Now, everything else will revive statically, but that thing is in the fate of RNG. I got enough. Yeah. Okay.
Be on your guard. Ganon's power grows. It rises to its peak under the hour of the blood moon. By its glow, the aimless spirits of monsters slain in the name of the light return to flesh. Link, please be careful.
Alright, so we almost have enough of these fireproof lizards for a half-decent fireproof potion. Bingo! This is not the shrine we were looking for, but it's welcome all the same. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. A key meant to always fall upright. Okay, so now even if we have to backtrack a bit to find that stable, we'll be able to come back this far thanks to the shrine we just found. Oh, it's right over there. That worked out. Yeah, we'll still probably teleport back from there so we can try to get over to that tower. Hey, follow me. That's right. Follow. Say cheese. Nothing simpler than just lighting an arrow on fire. I'm gonna get a fresh sledgehammer anyway. But this ice rod, we're gonna need it. Well, metal makes a path. Okay, where's the metal? Ah, okay. Wait for it. There we go. Alright, that was on me. No idea why I went down the wrong path. And there we have it. Fresh sledgehammer. Oh, let's even get a fresh battle axe, too.
Yeah.
This is how tourists get a bad rap. So hot past the second checkpoint that your body will catch fire. Spontaneous combustion. I got no rupees. I'm sure beetles around here somewhere.
Wow! Sa sa! Oh.
All right. Actually, I need to sell some more, but first, two weird things about these birds and also cooking. One, when you cook a whole bird, a raw whole bird, for some reason you only get the pieces. And sometimes, when you get one of these guys, you get 3 thighs instead of 2. Weird stuff.
Hi. Ah.
Alright, now let's make an elixir for ourselves. A little bit of this. A dash of Moblin Horn. Zalthos Talon and Bokoblin Guts. It's a masterpiece. But yeah, 16 minutes, 10 seconds should be more than enough. And now what we're gonna do, rather than walking down this clear path, we are going to climb this mountain and go around because there is an active guardian right around this corner that will shoot me. I'm not trying to tango with the guardians for the fun of it yet. It's gotta be one of two locations. Not that one. This one. Bingo. Yeah, as soon as we pass through there, the Guardian's going to come. Alright. Well, at least we're going in the right direction of the tower. Alright, climbing seems to work the same. Note to self, do not use bomb arrows on Death Mountain. Do not. Oh, that could have been bad. Again. I somehow survived within an inch of my life. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take this. You know, I'm not gonna take this because this is just gonna catch fire. Okay. First diamond. Ice arrows are going to be helpful. First red rupee. And unlike Twilight Princess, this actually remembers that I collect each type of rupee. So it won't just keep giving me that notification every single time I start up the game. Alright. There's the tower. We made it to the lava. Amazing that these birds can even survive here. And we could see some camouflaged Lizalfos right there. And that's why we need ice arrows and this ice rod. Alright. 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, we have a map. And yes, it is Death Mountain. But we are going to stop here for today at the 3-hour mark. Thank you so much to everyone who came to watch these experiments and those who come to watch the playback later. And hopefully we do get more games for the Switch too. And with the Switch 2 edition, I feel like I'm going to experiment with that a lot more. The next experiment will be, can the Switch 2 edition cartridge play on one of the original Switches, like the Switch OLED? Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you will be notified of the next Switch 2 experiment, and I will see you next time.